session is called Human and AI Collaboration. Andrei, when you hear that phrase, what does that mean to you personally?
Yeah, I mean, hello everyone. It's great to be here again this year. So thank you for having me. For me personally, human AI collaboration or team AI collaboration means that it's not anymore where AI and individuals are working on the side on topics. It's more about where AI is a part of that team collaboration, is a part of the decision making. And over the last 3 years, we had this amazing moment with AI where we have everyone have their personal assistants, correct? And now we believe there is an opportunity to bring AI into the teamwork and accelerate the teamwork and accelerate how cross-team collaboration is happening. So that's a major shift from what we've been used to in the last few years.
Your journey with Miro has spanned many chapters, right? You started in Perm, Russia, way back when, in a world where in-office culture was still dominant. Then you followed COVID, world went to remote first. Then we saw the rise of AI. How do you think of Miro today? And what does a Miro board experience look like today when you have humans interacting with other humans, potentially augmented by AI, potentially with some agentic workflow on top?
Yeah, I mean, we started our journey with this simple idea of bringing the whiteboard into a browser. At that time, we just were thinking about very simple thing, is like how people can have those collaborative moments similar to what they would have offline in the browser. But since then, it's evolved significantly. In 2017, we introduced this visual collaboration category that became a major thing for a lot of companies, where it's not just a whiteboard, it's the way how people communicate and collaborate with each other. And last year, we announced Innovation Workspace, the place where you not just kind of ideate, brainstorm, but where you take the project from the very beginning of the discovery phase, create the solution, and then move it to a delivery phase. Now, this year, we believe there is a major shift that can happen with what we've called originally whiteboard, but now it's a canvas. Canvas is one of the best mediums for AI from my perspective, because everything that we use now with AI is in chats, in this kind of conversational formats. But the power of AI is actually explore different edges of solutions. The power of AI is to see different kind of what-if scenarios, correct? And we believe that Canvas is best suited for that. And that's what we are building and shipping in a couple weeks from now, is this kind of exploration canvas where humans and AI collaborate. So that's been quite a journey from just simple whiteboard to the place where humans and AI can co-create together.
In order to provide such an AI-native experience, you must have thought really hard about how you build Miro into an AI-native company, which is not easy, right? Because you have thousands of employees who work very closely together for many years. What are some of the steps you've taken to get there?
Yeah, we started our internal AI transformation journey just a year and a half ago. So we were not the first who started to rethink our process, and we're still kind of on the journey. We still have a lot to do. But there have been a lot of great use cases that we internally discovered, both with Miro as well as bringing in the external technology to Miro. So number one thing that I believe is critical on this journey is to ensure that people have all the right tools to do their job. Because if people don't have access to tools, or it's shadow IT, it will not accelerate as much use cases discovery as possible. So that's kind of number one. So bring in the best tools and allow people to explore those tools. Now, not everyone would do it immediately, so you need to figure out those champions, those centers of excellence, where people will start using best-in-class tools and figure out those initial use cases. And then you can amplify those use cases. One of the examples that I'm quite proud of what team have built is routing the bugs and UX issues. So before, when customers would send us feedback, like with a screenshot or just explain the problem statement, or internal teams would find some bug or UX issue, it would be a very manual process. People would take that screenshot, try in Slack to find who is in charge of that, like what team is in charge of that. And we have like more than 500 engineers and 700 people in product engineering. So it's actually quite hard. So what team built is the routing mechanism where whatever is submitted can be easily identified through the code, through other areas of, through other kind of information, who this bug or UX issue can be routed. And it immediately finds the owner. So this is one of those use cases that we see is quite powerful. And we see more of those use cases that are adopted across the business now with AI that significantly accelerates our innovation velocity.
Really interesting. What are some of the roadblocks you had to overcome, whether technical or organizational, to get there?
I mean, in general, it's a major behavioral shift. I think the number one challenge with AI is that we all need to learn new behaviors. And I think that's the biggest challenge to overcome for any organization, because we as humans are comfortable where we are, and we need to push ourselves out of comfort zone. No one can push us out of comfort zone. We need to kind of accept that there will be new ways of doing things, and almost every job of knowledge worker can be rethought. And that's the same like within our company, with myself, with everyone. It's about like zooming out and thinking about, okay, how can I do this job differently from how I was doing it before? And I'm trying to ask myself all the time, like when I try to do something, how I can break the inertia of me doing it the same way as I would do it a couple years ago in a new way. So I think that's number one challenge that we all have to overcome, and the best way is to lead by example. So, for example, now I'm trying as much as possible in the meetings where we are doing creative problem solving, or we're thinking about some business processes that we have to reinvent for the team, for the company. I'm trying to think together with the AI, with the team, how it can be all done. So by bringing that into the context of the conversation, it's critical because otherwise people would not kind of think about that in the first place. So,
beyond leading by example, have you found creative ways to incentivize that behavior or to set certain KPIs around AI adoption?
Yeah, like I mean, with the leader, it's like what we believe in. After speaking with a bunch of companies out there who are even more advanced than we are on the journey, but also looking at our internal experience, the reality is that AI transformation have to happen quite centrally, have to happen quite intentional. So yes, there is this opportunity to give all the tooling to the team, so we see what are those best use cases that can come bottom up and increase individual and team level productivity. But with AI, you have to zoom out and rethink some operational processes in the company, some critical business processes, and that can't happen on the individual or team level. So yes, it starts with the leadership, and the leadership should own the transformation of the business processes and how the work is done in their respectful areas. So that's what we are working with the broader leadership team in Miro. Now, that's kind of where the KPIs could be and where kind of critical actions should happen. But for a broader organization, I think it's more about inspiration and showing the art of possible. It's less about of KPIs. What we are exploring is AI adoption kind of maturity metrics, where like your basic experience is where you can go and retrieve information and think together with AI, but you can evolve your skills towards like something where you manage the group of agents, or you build the group of agents yourself. So that's how we think about the evolution of individual development. But yeah, it's more about like showing the path for people rather than like KPIs at scale.
Yes, let's talk a bit about that. A lot of what we discussed so far essentially talks about AI as a one-to-one pairing or augmentation of the human. But it feels like we're scratching the surface in terms of agentic deployment, definitely in the enterprise. How are you thinking of the nature of work being changed as you don't just have an AI companion that can provide you superpowers, but rather you can have a whole team of agents you can coordinate for certain tasks?
Yeah, we have our internal belief about how the world will evolve. And we are building this AI PDLC, what we call product development lifecycle that is rethought with AI. And there is a big question where humans are leading each step of the product development cycle, or AI is leading and humans are refining. That's a big question. So we believe that you need to build for both scenarios, because there are scenarios where it's a green field, where you develop something from scratch, versus brown field, where you continuously iterate on existing products. And where you continuously iterate on existing products, you can automate more things, correct? Like if you get very specific feedback, you can iterate on that feedback and bring it back to the final product. That's quite straightforward process where you can more automate. But where you have to create something new, where you have to win on existing market or forming market, you need humans' judgment. And I strongly believe that humans have to kind of continuously bring their creative problem-solving skills. Otherwise, if you just outsource everything to AI, you may lose that creative problem-solving skills. You may lose some critical thinking. So we believe that there is no kind of right or wrong solution. The systems should support both ways of execution. And that's how we design the system, especially at the beginning of the creative problem-solving journey, where you discover the problem and define the solution. Now, with the delivery, we can outsource more to AI and make more automation by AI. But at the beginning of the process, it's definitely augmentation process. Now, how the systems in other places would look like in HR, in business operations, in go-to-market, it's hard to say, but I believe it's more automation rather than augmentation. And then there are jobs to be done that AI can't do, is like building a relationship, or meeting at the events, or kind of thinking through what's kind of next, 2-3 horizons. That's where humans have to obviously lead.
Do you have a sense what, even though, let's say take Miro as an example, a year or two from now, what footprint will be human versus AI? Can you even quantify that, or?
I think it's hard to say. I think it's hard to say, because I'm trying to look very close at what the most advanced startups are doing. And when I say like startups, I mean 2-3 people startups, not like even like 50, 100 people startups, 2-3 people startups. And it's very clear that there is a significant productivity gain that this company is, or these groups of people found already with AI. And what I believe is that those who are creating companies from scratch, they will automate as much as possible. Now, we also all have responsibility of teams of people that we run. So we need to figure out how to make the most out of people who work in companies at scale. And that will be an interesting journey, because it requires change management on how the business operates, but also requires a lot of change management of how each of us do stuff. So yeah, it's very hard to say actually, but what I can easily see is that to do what before would be done by 20-30 people in a startup when it starts, it's now done by 3-4 people max. That's very clear.
Yeah, interesting, because we meet a lot of companies that aspire to build, let's say, the one developer unicorn. So to some extent, if you start from scratch today, you can embed these principles much better. If you have a large org, how do you even think about where to adjust, right? In that, with some roles, you can certainly embed AI throughout, but with others, I mean, you could argue, product management could change a lot, right? If anyone could design the prototypes in Lovable.
Yep.
Do you think most knowledge workers' roles would be up for grabs, and then everyone essentially needs to retrain?
Yeah, I believe in general in collapsing the stack in terms of skills. So before we had very kind of strict definition of what this role is, what this role is. But in general, like we see now more of these T-shaped individuals. who can do the job to the left and to the right of what they're doing. So for product management, with all the AI capabilities, you actually can package quite well what you are building and do a little bit of the product marketing job. For engineers, you can go and dive into the insights and the feedback that is coming from customers. So for example, we just launched this year Miro Insights product, where there is a whole base of all the feedback and insights that are coming from all different sources from customers. So you don't need just dedicated product manager to do that. Like engineers, designers can tap into that. We launched also a couple months ago Miro prototyping, where like also product managers or marketers or engineers can communicate visually their ideas. So we believe that like all the AI tools significantly simplify kind of different jobs. Now you still need an expertise, you need a point of view, you need a taste to do it best in class. But in a lot of areas where it was not critical to do best in class user experience, for example, a lot of tools that are built for internal usage, correct? That there are no designers to support and maintain those tools. Now it's kind of way easier for engineers to own end-to-end that tooling without waiting for outsourcing or waiting for kind of some designers that would be assigned once in a while to help. So that collapsed the stack, and I believe that each of us can significantly expand our area of impact. And those who will try to learn the job to the left and the job to the right of what they're doing would be way more advantageous to those who are trying to stay in their lanes. Now, if you stay in your lane, you need to be really best in class in what you are doing there. I still believe in expertise, big time, but if it's an average job and you are not doing left and right, then you might be kind of you need to think about like what's your value add would be.
Great. It's impossible to predict what's going to happen even tomorrow with the pace of model development. But if you are to kind of go on a limb and think through, hey, a year or two from now, what AI and human collaboration may look like, what do you think?
I think what we will see soon is more of the proactive AI. So for me, one of the key use cases is when, for example, we as a leadership team are sitting and thinking through what's next, year goals, objectives, how we want to organize the organization. I want AI to be a part of our team. I want AI to think together with us because AI has access to all the company knowledge. AI has access to all the internet knowledge in real time. And I'd like AI to be a part of that conversation to help us identify blind spots and help us think better through the priorities and challenges. So that's kind of my bet that we'll see that in a couple years. I hope we'll ship it actually next year, but we'll see how that will be adopted. I think adoption will take some time.
Great. Well, thank you, Andrei. A lot to be excited about. Also in 2 weeks, a big announcement coming from you.
Yeah, October 14th is a big day when we are rethinking Miro altogether. So very welcome for those who are interested to join us online or offline at our events. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.